One of you said to me, why not make a video about the constellations, explaining them in the Welsh language, and I thought that's a decent idea. This is Ben Llewellyn. Today we're talking about the constellations in the Welsh language. Now this is just a short video. This is my weekend and I do have a full-time job on top of this for now. So if you would like more content on a regular basis of better quality, please join me on Patreon and I'll get there faster to make this my full-time job potentially and make better videos for you. Now about constellations, most languages in Europe simply took words and translated them from Latin. Welsh did this a lot, but it has a lot of its own terminology which makes it a bit special. Let's go over to the green screen and I'll show you. Before I explain what some of these are, there's some words that you should probably know when dealing with stars, like what is the word for stars? Ser. I like that tobach, little roof, the accent on it. And if it's one, seren. And that en usually, and in this case it does, indicate that it's feminine. It's a feminine noun, seren. And I've met at least 2 women, I think, in Wales who are named Seren. So it is a name for females that you'll run into now and then. And the word for a constellation, cytser. Now this is singular. You wouldn't expect that because it's ser. And what it literally means is together stars. If it's plural, cytserai. That's interesting that you add a plural under the plural form of stars. And the initial bit is from cyd, which means co or together or with. Cytser, constellation. So let's get into the cytserai now, the constellations. Orion is one that I think we're all familiar with, the hunter figure, and in Welsh it's appropriately named, I think, Rheliwr, the hunter. But there's something that you get which is a bit different to English here, in that the belt, Orion's belt, that's not the name of it in Welsh. It's Llathenfair, which literally means the lady's elwan, which means the lady's yardstick, a measuring stick, often in conjunction with magic. The lady's magical stick. And you get Mair, which becomes Vair in this case. Mair is the Mother Mary, but in a lot of Welsh words it just indicates a sacred woman figure, and I think it just got swallowed by Christianity over the ages. So the next one. Now in English this is called the Big Dipper or Ursa Major. A lot of the English ones are directly from Latin without much translation. In Welsh, however, we have quite a few variations, and I need to explain why. Because during the ages in which astronomy developed, Wales was not unified in any sense. It was a patchwork of competing kingdoms at various times in its history, and there were different ecclesiastical settlements in these kingdoms which represented centers of power, and these would have used different names and different dialects, and over time all of these different ones became acceptable to use. So for a couple of these there were multiple words in Welsh for the different constellations, and it helps to learn them because it helps better your Welsh to know these different words. So the one that you'll probably hear most is a saucepan, or maybe a Arth Fawr, the big bear. I find it interesting that Arth is feminine. What are some of the other names for this constellation in Welsh? My favorite, I think, is Serllong, and this is what I would prefer to use myself, though it's not the most common. Now this is interesting to me because you would expect it to be Llong Ser, a boat of stars, but the words are reversed. Serllong, which means it's almost like the boat is carrying stars in it. It doesn't denote that it's a star boat, but a boat with stars. Does that make sense? Let me know it in the comments. If you need a better explanation, I can try and explain it to you below. So what about the other names for this? Llyn y Llong, literally the picture of the boat. Okay, that's quite simple. Then you get rhaidel, which is an older word meaning a plow handle. Okay, like you till the soil. But you can see where that shape came from in the imagination. And related to that, you get rarad, which is a shortening of radar, which is the plow. So you get the plow handle and the plow. And I'm sure there was a lot of connection here with it being seen during the time of the year as well when tilling the soil was happening. You also get one I find a bit amusing is a llongfoil, the bald boat, which, if there's only stars connecting the bits of it, it's a bit bald, right? Okay, what's the next Cutser constellation? The Little Dipper, or Ursa Minor. You do get in Welsh Rarth Fach, the little bear, but it's not as common. You'll hear a lot of Saucepan Fach. You'll get Saucepan Fach quite frequently, I think. Those are the two main ones that I can think of. So what about the next Cutser? Cassiopeia in English, Llys Dawn in Welsh. Now, to understand this, before I explain what the Welsh means, you have to understand what the Latin means here. Cassiopeia, according to the Greeks, well, it's Greek more than Latin. Cassiopeia was a mythological queen of Ethiopia. And according to legend, she claimed her daughters and she were more beautiful than the minor gods of the sea. And this caused a kerfuffle between these groups. And Cassiopeia, after the end of this, went unpunished, and the chief sea god Poseidon, with his pitchfork, was not very happy that this vanity and arrogance had gone without a punishment. So he got her and chained her to a chair and put her in the sky to revolve around and be upside down for half the year, for all eternity, as a punishment for her vanity. That's quite brutal for just making a claim about beauty. But then you have Llys Dawn. What it means is the court of dawn, the royal court of dawn. And dawn, we know, was a chief British goddess of the earth, a mother earth goddess deity. And it's quite odd that this major goddess, or what is remnant of her, is in such a negative position in this constellation. And what I think happened here is the Christians came in and used Cassiopeia as a mocking insult to the native British religion and said, we're going to put your dominant female goddess into a position where we make fun of her, and that we're turning the tables upon you for all eternity, that our religion is greater than yours. That's what I think happened, but we cannot be entirely sure. It did happen a bit in other religions that were faced with Christianity. I should note about Dawn is that she is thought to have given birth in mythology to Gwydion and Orion. And this is quite pwysig, it's important, because I'll get to those two later on in this video. Before they were encapsulated in Welsh tales as characters in the Mabinogion, they would have likely been deities. Well, we're pretty sure that they were, and just slowly belittled into folk tales, as happened with many in Ireland. So let's go to the next Cutser. In English, Centaurus, or Sagittarius. And in Welsh, this is Saethydd, archer. Scythe is an arrow. Saethydd, to shoot. Saethydd. Gemini. Rhyfeilliad. And you see this in front of it, the article the. These aren't just any pair of twins, which is what the word means, twins, but rhyfeilliad. And you see this a lot more in Welsh than you do in English, where if something is specific, you add the article before it to denote it's that one, without indicating which one it is. You automatically know. So it's quite efficient in that way. Rhyfeilliad. And I like that "-ide" ending for the plural. It suggests that it's a bit flighty. in English come from Latin. I'm not quite sure how to even pronounce this. I know what it means because the same spelling in Italian today, Aquila, is eagle. I'm guessing Latin and Italian changed pronunciation quite a bit, but we'll say Aquila, okay? So in Welsh, erir is eagle, but you're going back to that article again. So you get erir, the eagle, because you have to emphasize that it's not just an eagle. It's the eagle, which is the constellation Aquila. Erir, the eagle. In English, this comes just from the Greek. I'm guessing that's Greek, not Latin. You could say Pegasus in Welsh, but please don't. I love using our own when we have them available. So we have March Eskellog, winged steed. March Eskellog. And that OG at the end, it's a descriptive element that suggests that it feels like that. So you can feel the wings. I like that ending in Welsh. It's very textual. Draco. I don't know why the English don't use English words. The Welsh use Welsh words for this, even though it means the same thing. Do you know what this means? It means dragon. And if you're in Wales, you're going to need this word quite a bit because it's on the flag. Draig. And it's funny that this is not having the article in front of it, because if you're saying a draig, it's usually indicating the national dragon. So we remove the article in this case because it's not the dragon. Huh? And when you do have the article in front of it, a draig, because dragon is feminine in Welsh. So draig, without the word the in front of it like the others. I'm an Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. Okay. I like this one because it's not a direct translation exactly. It's a dyfrwr. A dyfrwr. And what it means is the watery one, in a sense, or the one who lives in the water. And the word for water is not dyfr, as you would expect. It was. And that's what I would want to show you this for. That's important, you know the difference. Dŵr is the word for water, but it used to be dyfr. And that v sound is very slight in Welsh. There's a lot of words you don't even hear it. It became dŵr over time. Dyfrwr, and that wr ending suggests a person. You get words also like dyfrgi is otter, the dog of the water, the water dog. I like that. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to jump into the Milky Way, just because that's something in the sky that you can look at and relate to and say, hey, I know that in Welsh. Now, I mentioned Gwydion and Arianrhod. There are multiple names for the Milky Way in Welsh, quite a few actually, like those early ones, the Big and Little Dipper. Now, a lot of the time you're going to see the direct translation, Milky Way, just into Llywelllaethog, and I'm like, why? When you have other names related to ancient mythological deities connected to this beautiful thing in the sky. Cer Gwydion, the stronghold of Gwydion, the character from the Mabinogion, the son of dawn. But you also get it being feminine. Gwydion is male. Caer Arianrhod, the stronghold of Arianrhod, which I find extraordinarily interesting. These are mythological beings in a way that have endured in some way in Welsh because of their being locked into place in something as continuous as the Milky Way. But you get other older names because remember, Wales was very, very decentralized for a long time, and so you get regional variations like Bwr Gwynt, the bow of the wind, Hel Gwynt, the road of the wind, the wind road, and this is a very southern twang to it, how llwybr y gwynt, the path of the wind, and a fourth one, the fair way, the white way. So there are a few there, and that's probably not all of them. I'm just saying what some of them are for you. And since quite a few of these were zodiac symbols, the word for zodiac in Welsh is, this is an interesting word, sydydd. Sydydd. Zodiac. That edd ending does suggest it's some kind of instrument in a way, which I like that. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll be making more videos soon. Please tune back in. And as always, diolch yn fawr am wylio. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.